Now we will continue with the last speaker before a pause, and it is Otto Lahti, who will talk about the traffic volumes in Finland for high-capacity transport, how that has been increasing during this year. So, Otto, please continue. I can see you now on the screen, so thank you.
I'm Otto Lahti from Finnish Transport and Communications Agency, and I have been working with high-capacity transport since 2013 in several different positions. And at the moment, I'm spending quite a lot of time to monitoring what's happening after these new legislation changes in Finland. And in the beginning, it was always that we were measuring what's happening with the one truck and what kind of benefits we can get with the one bigger truck. But now I'm concentrating how many more efficient trucks we can get in the traffic. And this is then the classic picture. What are the new regulations in Finland? So since 2013, we have had these 76-ton trucks, and the most common solution is timber truck. And now, almost 2 years long, we have had also these 34.5 meter combinations, and there's a lot of different ways how you can build that 34.5 meters. And in that picture, it is B triple that's more common in Australia. And so there's also other possibilities in Finland, not just these dual trailers. And in Finland, we call only these longer trucks as a HCT truck. So 76 ton is nothing special. So it is just heavier classic truck. And HCT means always that it's longer than 25.25. And shortly back to the almost first slide in this day. So what kind of traffic we have in Europe, and what we think in Finland, that what kind of specialties we have. And I hear every day that in Finland we have a lot of long distance transports because we are a big country and there's long distances between cities in Finland. But that's nothing special actually when we compare those ideas to this slide and the statistics from whole Europe. So long distances are nothing special in Europe. But something what is completely different in Finland when we compare that to the European statistics is the number of timber transports, and especially the huge volume of roundwood transport. So a really big part of the ton kilometers transported in Finland is roundwood. So it's 12% of all transported cargo is roundwood in Finland. And then after the wood is produced to some kind of products, there is a lot of transport when they transport those saw material or paper or pulp from different factories to harbors. So that's also a really big part of the Finnish transport. And these long combinations are also suitable to quite heavy products, but not the most heaviest one. So containers up to 23 tons are possible, so that you can have two big containers in the same load. And another way to measure transported cargo or heavy traffic is to calculate the kilometers the heavy vehicles are traveling on highways. it's almost impossible to find any statistic about transported cubic meters, but these transported kilometers are in our national statistics, and also that how many kilometers are done with the different kind of products. And this is actually more important statistics when we are looking at possibilities for longer trucks, because this tells more what kind of light goods we are transporting, and it also tells quite well that where are the biggest possibilities to reduce emissions, because the emissions are more related to the kilometers, not to the tons. It's not big difference if there's 10 ton or 20 ton loads for the fuel consumption in a big truck. And here is then the specialty of Finnish transport lanes. So we are actually having not so much these over 500 kilometer long transports as it was in that statistics for whole Europe. But we have a lot of like mid-length transports. That's the biggest sector in Finland. And that is the biggest challenge, because the other end of these transports is quite often small village or quite small factory. So those trucks need to be really flexible so that they can operate to these targets. And they also have to be quite efficient, so because the transport lengths are quite long, so that's something between long haulage and delivery. And that's the background for our regulations also for longer trucks. And these are now the quite common transports in Finland. So we have these really long trips from Helsinki to the most northern parts, and it can be even over 1,000 kilometers. But that's really low volume from the all transports in the whole country. The most of the transports are done in the south part of the Finland, and these are much shorter than. And these two blue lines are then the most busiest transport, or the most busiest roads for high capacity transports in Finland. The main road from Helsinki to north, we call it the Highway 4, goes there to the O, and then to northwest, that's the important transport for food in Finland. So there's a lot of food production on the west coast, and that is transported with long trucks to Helsinki. And here I have a lot of small numbers, and it might be difficult to see those, but we have now updated system that measures all traffic, and also can evaluate if the truck is more than 28 meters or not. So we get from about 60 measuring points the number of long trucks, and it's automated system, so it's easy to use and get long-term data. And this keyway L is the Finnish shortcut, so it's the average daily traffic. It's both directions, and all of these are averaged from 1 month. And there's some measuring stations also on these smaller roads where there's not so much traffic, and all of these stations are measuring some longer trucks every day. In most of cases, there is some longer trucks traveling also the other roads, but we are just not measuring those yet. so we don't know how many days are going, but those connections are really important for the smaller cities so that they can also get efficient transport to the harbors from a small industry. And then one much more simpler picture, how many loads are leaving from Helsinki every day. So this is now average weekday. It was 4 Wednesdays in a row and average from that number. So it means that there's 222 loads with long trucks leaving from Helsinki every weekday. And that gives also some kind of estimation how many long trucks we have in the traffic altogether. And of course, there's a lot of trucks that are never visiting Helsinki, and there's more trucks that are, so the round trip is longer than 24 hours, so, and much less those that are taking 2 loads in a day. It's possible between Helsinki and Turku or between Helsinki and Tampere, but in most of cases when the loads are going to Oulu or farther, it's one round trip is 36 hours or 48 hours. So, and a little bit about truck lengths in Finland. Now, so this is the distribution, what kind of lengths we have. And this is all measuring points together. So, but it gives quite a good estimation how much we have these longest possible 34.5 meter trucks, and then how many little bit shorter ones. And one target was that it's possible to build right length to every purpose. And real life, that means now that on the longest distances and with the lightest goods, they are all using a lot of those 34.5 meter trucks. And then in the South Finland, it's more important that it's quite fast to operate with that truck at the terminals, and it's really flexible to use. So they are using quite often these about 28 to 30 meter truck and full trailer combinations. And also in the South Finland, we have much more AW combinations with 2 40-foot containers, then it's about 31 meter. And someone might wonder why there's so many 35 meter trucks, and it is because the measuring accuracy for the system is quite bad. So it's at least plus minus 1 meter. So all those 35 meter trucks in the statistics are actually normal 34.5 meter trucks. And also something that's completely different when we compare to the traffic in Europe is these are operating 24/7 or at least 24/5. So the traffic flow is almost similar in the daytime and in the nighttime. So these the picture on the left side shows the traffic in each hour, and it's almost the same all 24 hours. And these long trucks are so expensive that the drivers are not sleeping in the trucks, they are staying at terminals, or they have apartments in a different city, so they are not sleeping in a cabin. They just change the driver always, and one truck is traveling quite typically more than 200,000 kilometers annually. And the other picture shows how much traffic there is also on Saturdays and Sundays. There's quite a lot of trucks that are operating about 6 days in a week, so they are standing from Saturday morning until Sunday evening. So only about 24-hour break in a week. Okay, that was my first part. I think we have some time for questions.
Thank you, Otto. I have one question. I didn't think about asking you yesterday when we had a meeting. Have you measured also the weight for these longer vehicles, or do you know something about that? You have this diagram about the length, but also the weight.
No, we don't have a statistic about how many of those are 76 ton and how many of a little bit less. But my estimation is, after talking with several transport companies, that there's a lot of transport that are exactly or really close to 76 tons. So on a long haulage, transported goods, the length is chosen so that maximum weight is always 76 tons. So when they have heavy goods, they choose shorter one, and like medium weight, then it's maybe 28 or 30 meters, and for lightest goods, they use those longest ones.
Okay, thank you too. Now it's time for a short break, 25 minutes, so maybe not so short. So we start again 2:30. And so see you again, I'll hear you again online.